Brody. Sick vandalism. That is a deliberate mutilation of a public service message. Now, I want those little paint-happy bastards caught and hung up by their Buster Brown.
It's officially been 50 years since the first summer blockbuster, Steven Spielberg's Jaws, hit the big screen.
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them. You're gonna need a bigger boat, right?
Based on a 1974 novel by Peter Benchley about a giant great white shark preying on a Long Island resort, Richard Zanuck and David Brown at Universal Pictures instantly scooped up the film rights as soon as they had read the novel. Shopping around for directors, they thought about John Sturges, who had made The Old Man and the Sea, and then Dick Richards, who they ended up dropping because he wouldn't stop describing the shark as a whale. A young Steven Spielberg, who had just had his first theatrical debut, The Sugarland Express, produced by Zanuck and Brown, was lobbying for a chance to direct Jaws. 26 years old, he compared Jaws to his 1971 road action thriller TV movie, Duel.
Busted loose. Pull it back.
Then he got cold feet and almost left Universal for Fox's Lucky Lady, but Universal vetoed that and said, "Oh no, you're working on the shark picture." He was afraid that he'd be the Truck and Sharks director. Part of the deal to get the novel rights was promising Peter Benchley the chance to write the first screenplay draft. After 3 drafts, Spielberg was still unhappy with Benchley's work, having his own ideas about wanting to clean up and consolidate the first 2 acts, but keep the last act, the shark hunt, as it was in the novel. Benchley said that his contribution was largely the mechanics of the whole thing, the storyline, and the ocean stuff. After looking around for new writers, the Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Howard Sackler did an unaccredited draft, as well as Carl Gottlieb, who was writing for The Odd Couple, Spielberg's friend who also wanted to play Harry Meadows. Gottlieb ended up rewriting the whole screenplay over 9 weeks, the same 9 weeks as the beginning of principal photography. He'd finished pages right before they shot them.
It's lunchtime, and the afternoon dialogue is being doctored a little.
No, because he'll be so energetic, and he'll be screaming and yelling, "It's a great white, it's a great white, I knew it all along." And there's only room in there for one quick line, expository line about the mate. The mate
is dead, we'll have to
where's
tow
the
the
body?
boat back
Why is
in.
the boat torn to pieces? Because it's a great white shark.
Universal obviously wanted big stars, but Spielberg didn't want that. He wanted the shark to be the biggest star. Most of the minor roles were played by actual people who lived around Martha's Vineyard. Spielberg hired the head of Universal, Sid Sheinberg's wife, Lorraine Gary, to play Ellen Brody, and Murray Hamilton to play the mayor. It was tough casting Brody. Robert Duvall was approached, but he wanted to play Quint. Charlton Heston was interested, but he was way too big of a star. Roy Scheider actually overheard Spielberg talking about the project at a party and started lobbying for the role.
I had seen Roy in The French Connection, and I met him at a party at Andrea Eastman's house, and I was sitting here talking to him saying, "I can't find this leading man, you know. Here I am saying I can't find this guy to play Brody. It's terrible." I looked at all these actors, and you know, most of them want $1 million. We're not going to spend $1 million, and the other ones aren't interesting enough. What am I going to do? And I suddenly said, "Hey, what are you doing this summer?" it was really that fast, you know. And it just dawned on me that Roy would be right for the part, and of course Roy, who has written before, he and I together worked on his character, so there was a lot of freedom.
The list of options to play Hooper was really long. We will go through it on air. But it was George Lucas, who had worked with Richard Dreyfuss on American Graffiti, who got Spielberg to cast him.
And they came together during the actual shooting, because on Jaws, Richard pretty much designed his own character of Matt Hooper. That wasn't in the book, and that wasn't in the first couple screenplays. And when Richard had a good idea, if it conformed to my overview of the whole movie, I said, "Great, that's a great idea, we'll use it." And I pretty much, you know, sapped from Richard. I said, "I want Richard Dreyfuss to play Matt Hooper. I don't want you playing a dilettante, I want the dilettante in you." And that's why I cast Rick. I kind of typecast Rick for the part of the ichthyologist.
Quint could have been Lee Marvin or Sterling Hayden, but since Zanuck and Brown had just finished The Sting, they recommended Robert Shaw. Jaws was filmed on Martha's Vineyard. Although this isn't the case now, they picked it at the time because it was lower middle class enough to be economically wiped out by a shark ruining a season.
Look, we depend on the summer people here for our very lives.
You are not going to have a summer unless you deal with this problem.
We're not only going to have to close the beach, we're going to have to hire somebody to kill the shark. I mean, we're going to have to tell the Coast Guard.
Mr. Vaughn, you have to contact the shark
We're going to have to put
research
extra
panel.
deputies on because
You have to
the
ring
world
this
is going to
entire
come in here.
harbor.
We've got to
I don't
spend
think
money
one of you are familiar with our problems.
The ocean bottom around Martha's Vineyard also never dropped below 35 feet for 12 miles offshore, which made it much easier to operate the mechanical sharks without losing them. Starting a trend that would go on throughout Spielberg's career, new equipment was developed just for shooting, like an underwater camera box and new rigs that kept the camera stable regardless of tide. The giant mechanical sharks, including the main one, Bruce, were incredibly hard to work with and kept breaking down in the ocean water. It was the first major motion picture to be shot in the ocean, and technical difficulties arose from the start. Spielberg refused to shoot in a lake or a tank. On top of malfunctioning sharks, cameras got wet, frames fractured, and the Orca at one point, the ship, started sinking with the actors on it. Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss also began feuding, and Shaw would disappear on drinking binges to Canada. Meanwhile, they had Ron and Valerie Taylor capturing shark footage in South Australia. And one day, a great white actually attacked their caged boat, leading to that great cage attack footage at the end. There was also a real shark, the tiger shark, which a crew member caught in Florida and flew back to Martha's Vineyard, but nobody thought about how fast sharks decay, and they had a rotted shark they had to keep applying makeup to. The film ended up 100 days over schedule, which was unheard of, and $5 million over budget. So a 59-day shoot became 159, and a $4 million film became $9 million. An unprecedented $1.8 million advertising campaign followed, and this is what really made it a summer blockbuster. 24 30-second TV ads played on prime time, and up until that point, the most merchandise of any film. Posters, the novel special edition, soundtrack album, plastic tumblers, t-shirts, towels, games, all kinds of toys. And the John Williams theme played everywhere. Jaws opened with a $7 million weekend in 400 theaters. Adjusted for inflation, it's the 7th highest grossing film of all time. Until Star Wars: A New Hope, it was the highest grossing film of all time. Although it's most identified with Watergate and the corruption scandals of the 1970s, you have to be struck with how prescient it is for every time science and policy unites today. From climate change to the environmental fights to really any regulation, from pesticides to cigarettes to the FDA. With the scientist Matt Hooper acting as a Cassandra warning about how bad things can quickly get, the mayor holding back any solution for fear of economic damage, and in the law, in Officer Brody hesitating in the middle, with the public unwilling to really have a vocal opinion until they actually see the shark in action.
Why? Go further out! What for? Will you go to the end of the pulpit, please? What? Will you please go to the end of the pulpit? What for? I need to have something in the foreground to give it some scale. Foreground my ass!
Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space for the first time. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Kristina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Kristina. Alex makes reviews and reactions and is on YouTube and Twitch at Devil's Advocate Productions and is a part of This Space. I, of course, am your host and a local mayor who doesn't want to close the beaches for economic reasons, Forrest Miller. So, 15 podcasters went into the stream, 5 podcasters come out, and the sharks took the rest.
Nice. Hey, Alex, welcome back. I'd say it's been a while, but it hasn't. Welcome back.
What are you guys doing?
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the stream, here you go. There we are.
So I found out today that USS Indianapolis. I knew that like kind of that story, but it really was the biggest shark attack, the largest shark attack of all time.
Yeah,
because they had 900 people in the water. I remember Jeremy Wade, I think, did an episode on it of River Monsters, or like one of those shows where he went out into the middle where the USS Indianapolis had sunk, but they like torpedoed
like
it.
A third of them
really
died or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Or I think it might have been two. Like it was literally 900 people. I think went in, and then 300. Like that number 300 really did get like airlifted out of there eventually. It's like
what's interesting is John Milius like wrote like a 7 or 8 page monologue, and then Shaw like took it back and like compacted it down to like what we have on screen, which is perfect because it's not like this guy's really going on. It's like it's very compelling, and you're like, oh, that's why he's like hyper focused on this, that.
But also, you can still barely
situation.
understand him. Like if it wasn't for subtitles, right? Like his Irish accent plus the like plus the like it's like his brogue and the and just the drunkenness, I guess, of his demeanor.
Can I say that like this on this rewatch, I was like, oh, so that's probably a primary inspiration for Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if you like close your eyes, you're like, oh yeah.
I mean, this is prototype. Prototype old man who knows more about the thing that we're going after than anybody else. And it's kind of crazy drunk.
But what's crazy is like this being, again, celebrating its 50th anniversary. Again, one of the reasons why we're doing this episode is Jaws at 50. And it's been homaged and sequeled, and it's been referenced so many times that people forget some of this stuff started here. This was the first blockbuster that wasn't like a creature feature, like a grindhouse creature feature. And, peace and love to like Piranha and like with things like along those lines. But there was not a movie like this that hit this big that was made for mainstream audiences. It literally did not exist. So when you talked about, I'm glad you talked about the box office in the beginning, Forrest, because like it not only made Steven Spielberg's career, and I saw some love for Sugarland Express in the comments. Good movie, yeah, but it didn't hit on this level. And hereafter, with the exception of 1945, basically Steven Spielberg didn't miss, and he re-engineered what the blockbuster meant multiple times, and made a lot of incredibly very watchable movies, some of which we've already covered. But it's crazy to think that how much of the stuff just like this is where the tropes came from.
Yeah,
this is where those like character ideas from. They come from this.
Well,
they come from Jaws.
And even, I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, but like even something like Superman, right? Like a blockbuster like that at the time that like was made for like an older audience. That's still 2 years in the future from this. I mean, Star Wars: A New Hope, 1 year in the future from this. You know what I mean? Like it's still like all these things are like in the future coming out of this kind of moment where like Spielberg is kind of creating the summer blockbuster as a thing. And from then on, summer blockbusters, like it's literally 50 years later. It's been 50 years of summer blockbusters.
They're trying to recreate Jaws now, Sometimes
really? No way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're always trying to recreate Jaws in some way, shape, or form. Not literally. I hope not. Anyway, but if you think about the idea that these are you have the summer blockbuster. This is a movie that everybody goes and sees in the summer. Everybody's trying to do that, trying to recreate that, and that really started here. And it's so interesting because you mentioned like he thought he was gonna get kicked off the movie. It's like, hey, we're way over budget. It takes twice as long to do anything in the water. Like they're gonna like take this away from me because again.
He did do the smart thing though. He cast Sid Sheinberg's wife, which means that of course he's gonna. Right. She goes home. He ran Universal Pictures for even like 30 years after this, and she goes home like Lorraine Gary, right? Like she goes home and she's like she has to be like, well, I don't want the movie that I'm in, this big movie that everyone's talking about, to be like a disaster. You got to give him the rest of the money. You cast the boss's wife. You always got to do that.
Yeah, that was very astute. But it's wild to think about. You think about it's Steven Spielberg, right? Mr. Jurassic Park, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T. I mean, like, I don't even Close Encounters. That was even like around this era, right?
His next movie.
His next movie, like again with one very very hilarious notable exception with 1941. He didn't miss in this era. But the thing is, he didn't. This was the movie that made his bones for that.
Yeah.
And again, it's crazy to get the history of it. This is not a known commodity. This is not a Money in the Bank at all. They're like, you're making a movie about a shark? Why would you do that? And like, what's fascinating about it?
Okay, Moby Dick haters.
What's fascinating about it is that it defines an entire species for multiple generations, negatively, I might add.
Yes.
And in some cases, very uncharacteristically negative. But it's echoes through generations. Crazy.
Yeah.
He did for
like,
sharks
I think the
what Paris Hilton did for chihuahuas.
Yes.
But it's also like one of the greatest, like friendships and rivalries of all time, right? Spielberg and George Lucas. Trading work back and forth. And one of the biggest things is that Richard Dreyfuss was suggested for that role, right? For the Matt Hooper role. And then we go on to star in Close Encounters of the Third Kind too.
Right.
But he was suggested because he was in American Graffiti. Like George Lucas already at this point was friends with Spielberg. They're very close. And he's like, hey, I got a perfect guy for you.
Have you seen American Graffiti? That's a fun movie.
Of course.
I love that movie.
It's one of the only
4 Days of Confused.
Yes, and it takes place in the city of Modesto, which is where I was born and grew up. And I went to the same high school George Lucas did. And it's maybe one of the only 3 or 4 claims to fame for that town. But it's pretty good. Yeah.
If we ever cover it, I want to try to get Mackenzie Phillips on because she played that little annoying preteen in the scene, and I know her, so that'd be kind of cool.
I would be like, feels like that'd be a 1,000-mile walk in the desert for an ice cream cone for her. But I mean, I'm ready. Let's go. But it's when we think of Steven Spielberg, we think of the author of the modern blockbuster. It was not that. This wasn't proven yet. This was like he doesn't even know. Like, am I ever going to get fired on this? It's worth mentioning because it was a real concern.
Even
one of the things
early in his career.
Very early in his career, and if you think about so again, because that's what I was saying earlier is you got Sugarland Express, which is good, but not on the same level. Goldie Hawn, good stuff. Duel was his first movie, but it was a TV movie, and remember, this is back when TV was like insult.
Yeah,
wasn't considered on the same level. And Grant Duel is very good.
Bottom of the industry if you're working on TV.
Right, that's where you go when your movie career is done. Is you go to TV.
Yeah, that's what Joan Crawford did. And guess who Joan Crawford was directed by in a 1969 TV show? Any guesses?
Spielberg?
Yep.
Yeah,
she
director of the movie we're talking about. So I feel like
she felt embarrassed.
It would be funny if it was
directed by
else.
this young guy. And I'm like, little did she know he would direct the best summer blockbusters.
Well, yeah, because he did an episode like Night Gallery.
That's the show that she was in. Yeah.
Oh, was it Night Gallery? Oh, I like Night Gallery. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, well, he did TV show, but he also did TV felt like Duel, right? Like Duel is his big truck film before Sugarland Express.
That's what I literally just said a minute ago. Yeah, correct.
But I'm saying, like, he was doing, but it's two different things.
Did you fall asleep? I mean, did you not?
I have multiple windows open. I'm doing multiple things.
Okay. But you have multiple shows at the same time. I get it. Okay.
No, but I have but there's difference, right, between TV movies and then shows like something like Night Gallery, even. You know what I mean? Like, there's these different kind of Which today directors are way
back and
like
forth,
directors are. Yeah, way more likely to go back and forth. It's like even as a prestige thing. Like, I mean, like even something like Steve Buscemi getting to direct episodes of like The Sopranos because they're like, hey, you want to come on and direct like literal episodes? Like, yeah.
But it's decades before any of the idea of prestige television, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's,
the 80s kind of gave birth to that.
And like somehow even less than that, would be like the TV movie, which is meant to be disposable. Because remember, in a non-on-demand culture. This is like, that's just the movie. It's a movie that's on Friday. Oh, remember that movie with the trucks? That was wild. Oh, well, moving on.
It might replay again.
Right, maybe someday again I'll see it,
Unless it's a cult classic like Stephen King's It. When was the first time you guys saw Jaws? Because I remember watching it when I was really young with my pop-up. Again, it was one of those movies I saw probably that I shouldn't have seen at such a young age, along with Nightmare on Elm Street and the Alien movies. And I remember thinking, why do they say shark-infested waters? They live in the ocean.
All right, so I have my story for this that I've been excited to tell. Yeah, I know. Well, but I went to Maine every summer because my grandpa lived there, and we had Jaws on DVD. So like we could only really, because we didn't really have, we had like local cable or whatever, but we didn't really have cable there. So I would watch Jaws pretty much every summer, and I would scare the shit out of myself. And everybody would go, "Oh well, don't worry. There's coves here. Sharks don't go into coves. Sharks are in like the open ocean, and you'll be fine." Also, like there's never been a shark attack in Maine ever. Well, in 2020, I went to Maine for the last time. Like, because my dad was about to sell the house, and I went there to like, enjoy it for the last time during the pandemic. I got home 2 weeks later. We find out Bailey's Island, where the other cove is, where I was just kayaking. There was the first shark attack ever in Maine, in the cove, ever, like that they've had on record. And a woman got bitten in half by a great white.
What a full circle!
It was like some
yeah. A lot of people don't like when I go to Beaufort, we have friends who have a property on the river. A lot of people think, oh, I'm like there's a river, but it's all salt water that leads to the ocean. We have actually seen, we would know if there was like dolphins or sharks, and we would get in the boat, go along the river, and there we see
bull sharks, bull sharks, which are the biggest one. Like they're the ones that are like, they're even twice as big as the great white ones. Like they're those big motherfuckers. They actually go upriver, so you can sometimes even as far upstate or as far up country as like New York. Like there's been like bull sharks in the Hudson River before. It's really rare, but down like in the Mississippi or like in the Gulf of Mexico, they go up like these huge motherfuckers. Like they're
Well, so that, I guess that'll tag into me. So being a West Coast guy, but again, I grew up Central Valley, which is, an hour and a half away from the ocean.
Valley.
I did see it probably too young, frankly, because this is another one that my dad wanted to see. So it was like, all right, I'll take you with. But like this, it already, I guess it must have been a cable watch. Is all I can think of, because like I'm not even old enough to have seen this in the theater. You know what I mean? Like, I was 50 years old. That's too much.
I want to find somebody who was old enough to see it in the theater and ask them about like the merchandising thing that went.
Oh, it's got to be insane, right? But
my mom.
I do, if I remember correctly, it was big on like a very nascent like HBO and things along those lines, and so I probably saw it on there. But when we went to the ocean, the Pacific Ocean is a known thing, especially for people that surf and whatnot, that like there are sharks around. Now, the first thing that they tell you is, but it's not like that movie. Like they're not like killers that are trying to eat you. But if the silhouette of a surfer swimming in the ocean looks like their food. So you need to be careful when you're surfing specifically. And was so interesting to me because I was always, all I knew was, oh, this is the movie with the shark eats people. Like, oh, the shark's eating people. Oh, is that all sharks? Oh, no, that's not what sharks do normally. But they sometimes will mistake human swimmers for their food. And that's what led to this fiction.
The West Coast. The West Coast, right?
Yeah,
the West Coast, they have sea lions. And when you swim on your surfboard, you go out.
You look like a sea lion. Sea lions are loud as hell, by the way. They're so loud. You get a bunch of them together, it's like
yeah, they are. I've seen them like at the aquarium and stuff, and it's a nightmare.
Dude,
but
when you get a bunch of them together, it's like a podcast.
But when you get a bunch of surfers, together, they do the same kinds of same motions.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely a different way. No, but I did see it, and there was like a PBS. I'm assuming it's PBS, right? That like showed the outline, like from the shark's point of view of like what a surfer paddling on the board looked like versus sea lion. It was like understandable,
Well, because it's like you see the hands here, right? Like the seals and sea lions both have the like it does look like because I've had books when I was a kid. I was like autistically obsessed with finding out about sharks, and I think Jaws was a big reason. Like I watched Jaws way too young, so like my like obsession was finding out about sharks and kind of being scared of going in the ocean, but also wanting to go in the ocean. Like I remember seeing like one of those books where they had the thing where they showed you like like what a person looks like on a surfboard. And
you do the comparison. Yeah, and I want to hear Alex. I want to hear your reaction to this as well and your experience. But before that, I want to say that the split diopter shot when he's like chumming the waters, and again for the people that are not like film nerds, that means that like the on the right side it's like super in focus, but the thing that's far away on the left side is also in focus, and it's a very unique way of shooting in a film-based camera. That haunted me. Like I had nightmares about that because this is something where he's like turning around and talking to them, and you see the titular shark, like right next to him. And granted, he's not even attacking him. He's just there, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, and they have the cage,
Actual
the cage shots, right?
Yeah,
the cage shots.
Sure, and the cage shots are incredible in a different way. Yeah.
But I'm saying like those shots of it, like the actual shark attack, it just happened to be that they let a camera out in South Australia for long enough that a great white did attack their fucking
actually
shark
attacked
cage.
it, which is
like, hello, dinner.
Exactly. Alex, how about you give us your when you first watched this?
Well, first about sea lions, I went to San Francisco once to visit my uncle, and I went to the piers, the famous piers that have all these sea lions sunbathing, and yes, they are loud as fuck when they want to be.
Yeah.
And that's exactly the area I'm talking about. And they just hold court, man. Tourists are like, wow, there they are.
It was awesome. It was super cool.
And they're like, what do you got for me? Got me some food? What are we doing here?
I just want to pet them.
The first time I saw Jaws, I'm thinking about it. I was terrified of a lot of stuff when I was a little kid. If you think Rugrats and Chucky Finster on that show, who's scared of everything, that was me. So if I heard that there was blood in it, I wouldn't have watched it. Even so far as like The Matrix, I heard there was blood in it. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna watch that. Until I started making movies myself and made a horror movie, and then I was like, let me consume every horror movie ever. That was in high school, but I must have seen this as a kid because my dad wanted to always show me his favorite movies. It just happened that some of his favorite movies were like Aliens or Predator or Jaws. But I think he would get away with showing me Jaws if he just, because rewatching it, literally just finished it as we were coming on.
Well, and it was PG too. That's the other thing. Is like there was no R rating. It was like, just bring your parent.
No PG-13 rating either.
Here's the reason why we have PG-13 because Indiana Jones and his involvement with Poltergeist.
Right.
And then, so I must just the shot of the kid getting eaten. Like I did not remember that. So he must have covered my eyes or something when he first showed me that movie. But like, there's not much of the actual shark, as we all know. The famous story, the prop didn't work that well. So
because it's a freshwater. It's a prop that's meant for freshwater, and they're shooting the first movie ever in the ocean. Nobody had the thought like, hey, we need to fix this so that the seawater, because seawater is corrosive.
Oh, that's what was happening.
Yes. Yeah, so the thing was short.
That's why if you have a seawater aquarium, it have a special treatment so it doesn't eat through.
Okay, I didn't know that's why the prop malfunctioned.
But you're right. I think what you're
like in the shot you were talking about, I forgot the word you used. Say it again.
There's the split diopter shot.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
It's a split diopter shot thing.
It's not just that they used that shot; it's that they repeated it. I'm going through me and my fiance's yearly rewatching of the Mike Flanagan Netflix shows. So we're starting with Hill House. The trick is show people this shot, let them get comfortable with this shot. So and then surprise them.
You change what's in the back, and people are like,
whoa! And we're having a conversation at the same time. You're paying attention to the conversation. It's just a reverse angle on his face. We've seen this before. Oh my God, shark! It's one of the most iconic in movie
There's also
history.
there's so many shots that like I noticed this on this watch through as if you're the shark. Like you're watching people react to the shark in real time, and like some of the shots are pretty funny because they're using just people that lived at the time in Martha's Vineyard, and obviously it's not Obama's Martha's Vineyard that everyone takes pictures in now, or it's like really fancy and like this is like the rundown 70s Martha's Vineyard.
Where movie is the reason why a lot of people wanted to live there.
Probably, but I mean they're like oh well I kill sharks. I don't go in the water, but like.
I do. I'm not. The only thing I'm afraid of are jellyfish.
But like, it hurts like a bitch to get stung by a jellyfish. But like, when you're going around, right? Like, you actually see these faces of people that are like not actors that are responding to as if there's a shark attack coming, and like, there's so many of those really great shots.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say something real quick, but like Jaws would do well at the Sphere in Las Vegas because then you'll feel like you're in the water. Because they're doing
it was one of those big. It was one of the. it's been one of those big IMAX films that, whenever you go. I mean, obviously they did Jaws 3D really early, but like whenever you go to IMAX, it's one of those big ones.
What are you talking about?
But it's one of those big films that like has done really well at like IMAX theaters. They like re-release it every 10 years or whatever.
One of the first games they came out with for VR when VR was really picking up steam was like a shark cage game where you just go down and it's not really, you just look around. But it's very much just that scene from Jaws. I mean, Jaws really has so much DNA in everything.
Well, I want to get into that. I do want to
first blockbuster.
Absolutely. I want to get into that directly, and we will. But I do want to give a shout out to this the super chat. Thank you so much for all our super chatters. Pendulous Dragon, Night Stalker is one of my favorite early 70s movie, 1972. Darren McGavin as Carl Kolchak. Agreed. It's a certain. Again, we didn't have that style of storytelling everywhere as we do now. That's the one that's
it's like shot documentary style, and it's kind of interviewing the townspeople as they get more panicked. Is that
talk about right movie? For Night Gallery? It's an anthology. So Night Gallery is an anthology, and in this, and the one that was referenced earlier, Joan Crawford's Ossie Davis is in it. But basically, they did a spinoff of basically the movie was like a backdoor pilot for like a TV series of the same name that started so it was called Kolchak, the Night Stalker, but started with Night Gallery, but it's sort of like in that Twilight Zone sort of vibe, like Twilight Zone plus Columbo, I guess. I don't know. That's a terrible. I mean, it's both accurate and terrible at the same time, right? But it also a lot of very famous directors and people in the industry got their start working on that show, just like a lot of people did, working with Corman and whatnot. But that was something we talked about a while ago too. I just didn't see the super chat. Sorry. But
did they name the Night Stalker the serial killer, right? Like that was plaguing San Francisco. He's named after it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Night Stalker,
I think they must have because Kolchak the Night Stalker is like early 70s, and I think Ramirez was
that was
80s.
Yeah.
80s.
Yeah.
So. But it's funny because people now only remember the serial killer; they don't remember the TV show. But I'm sure it's streaming on Amazon Prime or like one of these channels. You know what I mean? It is actually pretty good. Like it's a good show in that kind of like genre of sci-fi. But it's getting back to and first of all, split diopter shots specifically, but lots of pull focus stuff. You think of like Brian De Palma, a lot of Brian De Palma stuff. There's a lot of Citizen Kane. There's a great split diopter shot because what you're doing is you're over magnifying one area and under magnifying another. So if you think about things like Blowout and Untouchables, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Again, I watched a horror movie called Bring Her Back, which is really good actually, and it uses a lot of shallow focus shots and racking focus to convey information. I'm like, in a fucking 2025 horror movie? Okay,
right, exactly. Which is also
Mm-hmm.
another progenitor of that kind of a focus as a tool thing. Not only this movie, but a little movie called Star Wars.
Apparently somebody put up on YouTube a version of like those scenes in Jaws with the split diopter effects removed from it. So like they literally went backwards and retro edited those scenes.
Just because they can, or
I think people love doing shit like that.
Well, you say, sorry, go ahead.
I would say, is Jaws considered like a horror movie?
I was thinking that too, kind of.
I don't know. Like I just like
I guess it's considered a thriller.
It's considered a thriller, but it's right on the edge, right? Is Predator a horror movie? I don't know, kind of.
Yeah.
Like,
wait, is it a Shark Week this week? Perfect timing.
It is
Shark Week and 50th anniversary. That's one of the reasons why I was like, let's do it that week.
I love Shark Week.
The only thing I wish is we got a song called Sharks Keep Moving on the new record. There's a video for it that we blew it by not having the video be ready for this. What can I say?
What are you saying,
but I think you brought up that the only real kind of blockbusters before this were creature features. I wonder if that was part of the reason people were like, okay, big shark movie.
Well, and it was niche stuff. It was for kids. It was it was like literally, like that's the Hudsucker. Oh, it's for kids. Hudsucker proxy, right? No, but that's what it was considered. It's like that kind of thing wasn't cinema. Is what it was. It wasn't for
It was a roller coaster.
The
ride,
general
like
public.
Scorsese
It was
said.
like, yeah, exactly. And again, I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. But this was the first one. It's like, no, this hit big because again, this is getting off of that crazy reptilian brain fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Creature from the Black
Yeah,
Lagoon.
which
this is also the
Spielberg
huge,
is actually
the huge renaissance of
Yeah.
auteur director. You got Spielberg, you got Texas Chainsaw Massacre around then too, Alien, Star Wars, Taxi
Which this
Driver.
kind of-
And what is Alien
Godfather.
if not Jaws in space? And
Exactly.
I love Alien.
Yeah.
but it kind
Alien's
of
amazing.
split off like auteur filmmaking, right? So that then it was kind of the more like like, oh, we're doing auteur filmmaking kind of stuff, and then this kind of stuff, whether that be Jaws or Star Wars, like the Spielberg George Lucas side of things, which obviously they both kind of, I mean, Spielberg more kind of came out of like adventure stuff because he was already interested in that, but like even George Lucas, right? Like American Graffiti, like he comes out of kind of this more artsy version of stuff, not so much like these big studio pictures, but it kind of split off these two sides of the new Hollywood movement. And of course the Spielbergs and the George Lucases kind of won out over the extensive freedom kind of that artists had at this point.
Yeah, plus that it also taught the studios how to make deals that benefit them more, because they will never give anybody a deal like they gave George Lucas for Star Wars, where he got to keep all the merchandising rights. Because they were like,
oh, dude,
okay, your little space movie, all right.
The way they tried to do like the way that they tried to do a sabotage campaign on Coogler for daring to do the deal that he did, which is not the deal that Lucas had. It's like
sinners.
And they basically almost did everything up to and including sabotage in the movie from PR terms.
Yeah.
Well, was it really a blockbuster? Yeah, bitch. Yeah, it was.
People were cosplaying going to Star Wars back then. We even girls were like, "Yeah, we're into this."
Yeah. And that's what's so funny is
get a deal like Matt and Trey from South Park either. I'm sorry.
Well, and also look at Sing Sing, right? We talked about that earlier this year, and this is incredible snubbing at the Oscars, just despite being like one of the greatest movies. A24 fumbled the bag on that one, Pelt the Chips and the Brutalist. But also, I mean, look at like the payout structure, right? It's something where, we can't allow that to exist because then everyone's going to want it. So we don't want to, give too much. And not that was like the leading thing from it. The leading thing of it is this humanistic portrayal of these troubled characters that single-handedly states the case for acting as an art form. But because the payout structure was so revolutionary for this, like, just absolute, like, Byzantine top-down thing that everybody's used to, it's going to be a real wildfire event for it to even be able to get up out of the art house niche.
By the way, the guy, Lauren, I don't know how to say his last name. Lauren Regto, the guy that runs the Woodstock Film Festival, that runs Hudson Valley Film Commission, apparently just died of cancer. But there was a long tribute from Brett Buell, like the guy that that was played in Sing Sing, right? Like the guy that and he was talking about how that guy actually went to bat when he before the cancer kind of made him I think a lot sicker, but like he went to bat for Sing Sing and finding those locations and stuff, and I was kind of like blown away by that.
Now, is there a debate about whether Jaws actually did cause a fear of like the ocean because my mom's afraid to go in the ocean.
It did.
Unless it's jellyfish.
And it did the same thing. It did the same thing just a couple years ago that The Exorcist had done, where people were a couple people at least got so like physically sick in seeing shark attacks and getting afraid that they actually kind of got sick in the movie theater and stuff. It had that same kind of effect on people. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And The Exorcist is another movie I feel like that kind of has that same word of mouth, but also like people going crazy for going to the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Labor. I've heard it all. That should be that one day.
But Spielberg actually apologized because after Jaws came out, so many people were going shark fishing. They were so afraid of sharks that a lot of people were like, oh, we got to get rid of all these sharks. And now like a lot of those sharks are like endangered. So I was watching this thing where Spielberg was actually like, the part I regret about this movie, like I don't regret obviously making Jaws, but I regret the fact that like people were so afraid that
People
like a
are
lot of people were
fucking dumb.
hunting down sharks after that, and like I feel like I contributed to shark
Because he
endangerment.
absolutely did. I mean, you like
Yeah.
villainized an entire species of animal to the point of just that's the first thing people think of with sharks.
Yeah.
Culturally,
he
even
didn't know
now.
this movie was going to be as big as it was.
He thought he was going to get fired from it because it was going over budget.
Like them.
Well, it's
the
not
movie
even
them
not even
with the
just
giant
over
ants,
budget.
It's not like people went after ants.
I can't think of another movie that went over the budget. Like not that just that it went over the budget, but that it went twice. Like it ballooned to twice as much as because they put $4 million aside for it. By the end of it, it was $9 million that he needed, and then he still couldn't get the shots he wanted. He actually put his own money into some of those final cage shots.
But it wasn't like he was like, I'm so self-assured that this is going to be the hugest hit in the history of film. No, not at all.
Yeah,
like not at all. He was just trying to like make something cool, and he did.
He put the last. I think I read something. It was crazy. It was like $40,000 or $400,000. I don't know. It was he put like the last few $1,000s into the shot where when
that was the
Richard
Bowie
Dreyfuss
budget.
goes down. but when Richard Dreyfuss goes down into the shipwreck, and then there's that jump scare where, and I don't know if he ever got reimbursed for that. I mean, he made, I'm sure, bucket loads of money on this, but that final shot where the body just leaps out and you get that jump scare. Spielberg was actually putting his own money into like the reshoots for that because they're like, well, you've gone more than twice the budget. We're not going to pay for those last reshots.
Yeah. Can I mention one thing? Finding Nemo. They tried their best to portray sharks as good guys unless they smell blood. And I love how they're like, he was taken probably American. Fish are friends, not food.
Well, the shark is obviously named Bruce. Bruce is the name of the Jaws shark. Yeah. The main one that you see throughout this. That that was getting corroded by salt water.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that this was the first movie ever shot in the ocean. Like they had never done that before.
Yeah, that's wild.
Studios used to build sets, yeah.
Well, you would either build a production tank or you do it in a lake, and you'd say the lake is the ocean.
Right.
Because it's freshwater, and freshwater is not so corrosive. So they ended up having to create like all these different technologies to not like salt water get near the cameras, which you obviously have to do. I had a little camera as a kid that was like, one of those disposable ones, but they'd always cover it in a layer of plastic. So you had to be like, when you took it down snorkeling or whatever. Yeah.
I remember
those. Were not good.
I remember those. I actually have seen, not sharks, but I've seen dolphins in the Hudson River.
We rescued a dolphin one time in Beaufort. My dad and I, it was low tide in the river and it stuck.
By the way, real quick, because I'm getting a DM about this. It's the movie is Night Gallery and the show is Night Gallery. Kolchak the Night Stalker was another show around the same time as Night Gallery. They aired together on whatever the channel I watch these things on. Sorry, we regret the area for like 70s esoteria television shows that like 3 people watch, including me. We regret the area.
But
there's been
I'm sorry.
2020 I guess was another time for this, but like going up at least to like Hudson, like in the Hudson River, right, like at least to that like point, like half an hour above the city. The sharks actually did make it that far during COVID, which there was a lot of like crazy shit going on during COVID.
Well, because no one was going to the beach and stuff, so sharks were like, oh yeah, we're free.
I remember that.
Were they doing that specific dance while they were doing it?
Oh yeah.
And this movie actually made me think
sharks were like, I feel like a woman.
There you go.
This movie made me think of COVID because I remember when that was starting up, a lot of people were using the clips of the mayor to criticize Trump for not closing stuff down and wanting to keep everything open.
Yeah, that was like a very popular like liberal meme template where it's like,
and just the popularization of that kind of character also originates in this movie.
Well, and that's important to note, and I should note this also for the This Space listeners who apparently would rather talk about alpacas than the movie Jaws or sharks. Okay, fair enough. Alpacas are great, but there is a substantive leftist critique within this movie still rings true to this day, which is the keep the beaches open. We've got to keep the beaches open. This is our biggest year, 4th of July. We can't close the beaches.
Yeah.
There's clear and present danger. And again, you're right. That was used as a corollary when we were talking about, businesses staying open during COVID, which led to the endemic, not pandemic, that we currently live in, is because that Jaws mentality has been normalized to be like, well, that's just the normal thing to do now, apparently. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why the pandemic ended, if it ended the way it did, or mutated into the endemic that we currently are with now.
It's the endemic now.
But it's just like, which is to say that like commerce and capital has to take precedence at all times over the lives of people.
Now we just
thank you very much, people. It's been a laugh riot, everybody. Good night.
Now we just accept that there's sharks in the ocean. We swim anyway because we have. Because the mayor said, "Yeah, beaches are open. Go to the beach."
I'll dip my toes.
Except for Kristina's mom. Everyone else does. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I guess some people are going to get eaten. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's
but
our
detail in watching now, so there's the initial famous, the woman, it's on the poster. The woman gets eaten in the beginning. They find the remains. Then he goes to the mayor, says, we got to close the beach. Mayor says, no. Then next day, everyone's at the beach.
Yeah.
Our boy Brody's watching, and kid gets ate. Now, that later the mother comes when they think they've caught the right shark, but they're not sure, and she comes and slaps Brody and is like, "This is your fault." And I'm like, "No. Brody told the mayor. It's the mayor's fault.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he rat out the mayor?"
I know.
In that moment,
politicians are always to blame for disasters.
Like, I told him, and he said, "Stay open." It's his fault.
It's a common trope among like disaster movies or anything. Like you got to tell the person that's head in charge, and they're like, "Whatever, it'll be fine." It's
glaring
whatever.
Plot hole. Movie ruin.
So
well, he just doesn't. He doesn't want to narc him out. He just thinks it's like dishonorable. Like who knows?
And he also feels responsible anyway because he didn't close it. I understand.
He probably thought they didn't push hard enough. Who knows?
It was kind of funny. I'm like, if I'm him, I'm like, dude, I told you.
Real quick,
it's like a Titanic.
Roy Scheider, noted character actor Roy Scheider, right? Who's all over like great cinema in the 70s. He's in The French Connection. He's a Marathon Man, Sorcerer. He's all over the place basically until he isn't. And then it's like, it's what happened to Roy Scheider, everybody. But he was like the guy for the longest time, and what a great role this is for him as the sheriff that goes to the island town for the job and doesn't like the water or water-related activities, and it's like literally all these people do in this seaside community. Amity is what they call it in the movie. And
Amity means friendship,
and it's so funny that like this is a guy that doesn't like it's not for him. Like none of these things that he's
a big city. He's supposed to be a big city cop. Yeah.
But specifically, he has a disdain for water and water-related activities,
which
is deeply hilarious when you think about him like getting on the boat with his dudes and going out on the shark hunt. It's like,
and I like how nervous he is throughout about that.
Absolutely,
it's like it never goes.
He's trying to call back to shore. He's trying to call back Coast Guard. He's trying to call his wife. Like he's like, I gotta.
Quint flips out at him.
Which is never really like. And we don't. No explanation for that.
And if we see that, well, it's just he's just a maniac. He wants to get the shark on his own. Who knows? But it doesn't need to be explained. But also, if you see that in movies now, it's over-explained or it's played for comedy. Oh, this guy's a coward, and he's acting cowardly, and this is played for humor. And this is just like, no, the guy just doesn't like the water. That's all it is. And like he's gonna do it. He needs to do it. This is the thing that needs to be done. He wants to protect his people. He's trying to do his job, et cetera, et cetera. But that's how generationally irony poisoning we've become with our narrative storytelling, that like you can't have that now. They either need to be like, well, they're not afraid of anything, they're the hero, which is like straight up like 1952 sort of vibes, or it needs to be the other way around, which is just like, it's played for comedy, and somehow you can begrudgingly respect them even though they have this character flaw. It's like, no, this is just something that's part of it, like every human being.
That's why Superman works.
It's when you look at like like another obviously like big auteur movie, right? Like something like Dog Day Afternoon. Like he would have been one of those NYPD cops that's like going around on this beat until he decides, the city's actually getting too dangerous to raise my two sons. I want to find like a nice quiet posting somewhere, in a northern Originally the book takes place in Long Island, but they never say whether it's New England or Long Island in the movie. But you presumably it's New England, somewhere in like Massachusetts or something like that, right? But he's going up there to like finally what's the worst that could happen? Someone's drowning, but there's also lifeguards that can kind of take care of that.
He didn't grow up around it.
Yeah.
It's not like where he came up. Like,
but
all the people
what I was trying to say is it's New York City. It's New York City at its most dangerous, going on at the same time. So it's like he's not like he's especially not a coward. He's like a cop that would have been a big city cop. That's like, I can't raise my sons in this environment.
Yeah,
I need
the Warriors
something else.
is happening right now.
Right, exactly,
all the gangs are joining up.
and I guess what I'm going with this is that it makes the movie more distinguished by having this be a huge character trait for him that he kind of overcomes as a small tertiary, like, C tier plot point.
At the end, the last couple lines, like he's like, I used to not like the water.
Yeah.
And
now he's seen the worst of the water, right? Like,
And the other guy's like, well, what would make you be afraid of the water? Why is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
It ends on that great funny note.
Yeah, so they're like trying to swim to shore.
But
right? and then you get the tag over the credits where you see, they made it, by the way, just in case you're wondering, they made it.
But I mean, you even see it in like
right? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you even see it in something like Hot Fuzz, right? Like that big city cop comes to like a small sleepy place and then bad things happen. Like that trope has continued, and that trope is so well represented in John.
Again, for the Mike Flanagan Netflix shows, I was thinking of Midnight Mass. The sheriff in that is from a big city, wanted to get his son away. What's the worst that could happen here? Oh, fucking vampire. But I was
spoiler alert. Kidding.
I was thinking about that. This is another movie that kind of just ends when they kill the shark. Like
he blows up the shark,
and they're alive. Blow up the shark.
Which is where the origin of the phrase.
All the townspeople celebrating, and you
don't see any of that.
And none of
we don't see that. And nowadays that'd be like a full half hour of
that's what I was
movie,
thinking.
right?
Exactly.
But
we need the whole epilogue.
The origin of the phrase "No monster is truly dead until it explodes." Pretty much.
Also, speaking of quotes, listing the top 100 greatest movie quotes of all time. Conan.
You're gonna need a bigger boat, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And in context of the movie, I forgot he said it multiple times.
He says it twice.
He's like trying to remind. It's a comedy point. Like he's trying to remind Quint, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I would have sworn it was "We're gonna need a bigger boat," except I referenced that line in the song on the record that I mentioned.
He says both. Yeah.
And I wanted to get the first time he said it. It's specifically to fit with the rest of the lyric. So that's the only reason I knew it, because I looked it up because I hadn't seen it so long. I'm like, is it "we're gonna" or is it "you're gonna need"? I was like, oh, it's "you're gonna need."
Yeah.
Okay, so like they're kind of both right, but the one that everyone thinks of is "you're gonna need a bigger boat."
First he says "your," but then he's repeating it over and over. Like it's like he gets fixated on it. He's like, we're gonna need a bigger boat, right? We're gonna need a bigger boat.
But that's also the going to Star Wars, Luke, I'm your father. That's not the line.
Yeah.
It's not the line. It's a paraphrase them. Yes. Yeah, and that's it's so funny that like the malaproposized famous phreases where it's like, that's not what they said though. Yeah. which is kind of funny.
Mandela
effect. I not to steal Kristina's bit for this. So do you want to know who Spielberg was, like some of the actors that they suggested to play the Richard Dreyfuss role?
I know it was a long originally. Search. I'm into it. Yeah, let's go.
So John Voight was the first initial one that they wanted.
Wow.
Angelina Jolie was
imagine him as like a smart guy though.
John Voight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, 70s John Voight is that's not a bad thing. Like,
where do you think Angelina Jolie got her lips from? Actually, from him.
Exactly. He did something.
All right, so Timothy Bottoms from the Last Picture Show.
Oh, okay, yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Jan Michael Vincent.
Jan, really?
Wow, in the 70s too. Okay. Better known for was it Airwolf, right? Was that his big show? Yeah. Which was the conceit of that show is, what if a dude had a cool helicopter? That's the show, everybody. and like everybody watched it. Like, all right, I'll watch that. Yeah, Knight Rider but helicopter. Exactly.
So Joel Grey, father of Jennifer Grey and from Cabaret and all such things.
Sure.
Yeah. And Jeff Bridges.
Oh,
Jeff Bridges! Wow.
Jeff Bridges could have done it.
He totally could have done it. That's
and
what
so could John Boyd, honestly.
It's like a shark, man. Like, well, it's such like Richard Dreyfuss in this is such a peculiar kind of character, right? Like the fact that like he's kind of like he's a young guy, but he's also like he gives the story about how he's kind of rich and is the only reason he's able to be like the Oceanographic Institute shark guy is because his parents have the money to pay for all the cool gadgets and stuff. Like he's such an interesting character in this, and he's the whole like the fact that Quentin and him have this kind of beef is mirrored in the actual Robert Shaw Richard Dreyfuss beef, which I guess right in the middle of this Richard Dreyfuss started getting really good reviews for a performance that he had played, and Robert Shaw got like jealous of. Or at least that's that's the story. He got jealous of those reviews, and he's kind of going through his some of the worst parts of his alcoholism at this point. So he's getting more and more jealous of like all the acclaim this young upstart kind of is getting on, in the newspapers at the same time that he's beefing with him.
Imagine if Paul Newman felt that way about Robert Redford.
Sure. Right. We'd have a very, very different film history. I like. By the way, that Spielberg, when he read the novel, he found himself rooting for the shark because he thought all the humans were like unlikable. So like that's why he like put all this characterization in and like then kind of gave like the backstory, which totally works. It was like, yeah, I get it. It'd be like, go shark.
Well,
go
they have
I want to see the monster.
They had Robert Bentley, or like he went back and he had to do the first 3 drafts of the script, and Spielberg was saying the entire time like the characters are still unlikable. Like you did nothing to improve the likability of any of these characters. Which is why that he had his friend drafting it up until the day of each.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I guess like Shaw was even like taking drinks between takes and like just saying like, oh, I wish I could keep drinking, and then like Dreyfuss like took his glass and like threw it into the ocean.
He's like, you're on a film set. Be professional, you old drunk.
Yeah. Which I mean,
he would do the thing where he would work himself up and then go on a bender. So he would disappear into Canada and he would go on these long Canadian benders, and they'd have to drive like 100 miles up into Canada.
No wonder
to, like,
they
grab
went
him
over
and bring him
budget.
back.
Wow,
you just reminded me that great monologue he does, the USS Indianapolis thing. He originally that's the second time they tried it, because the first time he was so wasted that was like Spielberg's like, that's not usable, and then like I guess he's like hey, can I give that another try, and then like he delivered what is like one of the coolest scenes of the entire movie of the shark,
which he's drunk for, but it's I have to
in a good way, compliment, not insult.
but I have to imagine it's not like there's a certain skill to being movie drunk rather than kind of just being drunk in a movie.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we talked about that a couple of years ago. We did another round, right, about how like playing people that are drunk is not the same thing as being drunk on camera. Although I always think about this. Dr. Strangelove, all the George C. Scott scenes are actually scenes that he was having a really hard time getting into character and like being the crazy like war hawk guy that's on set the whole time, and Kubrick would go in between these shots, he would say, oh, have a drink of wine, can we just do like a silly one that you're like over the top, you're acting over the top, and I promise I won't use it. And then he used only those ones.
That's great.
Fantastic.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's so
I got
great.
to show it to my wife recently, and showing an older movie is always risky because like they're slow a lot of time. But man, that hit. It still hits.
So
Roy Scheider, George C. Scott.
Oh, dude, like literally one of my favorite movies of all time. Actually, my favorite movie of all time. I've talked about it ad nauseum on this show. Yeah, absolutely. Wait, I'd redo that. I'd do that one every week if we could. I love that movie. Another alt casting note. Sorry to steal your bit, Kristina. Again, is Charlton Heston as Brody rather than Roy Scheider, which would have been nuts. But like So Spielberg didn't like it because he was like doing like real heroic roles, like Airport and like Earthquake, other one-word titles. And but it's like Charlton Heston is Bro Dance, a different movie entirely.
Because then I don't.
He was also talking about how
he was so scared of the water.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. It wouldn't be.
There's that clip that I used part of it, I think, in the intro. But there's that clip where he's talking about casting, and he's talking about how all these people wanted $1 million casting, which now is nothing. You know what I mean? Like now with the budgets of movies, $1 million is like you can just throw it away. But back then, like he's like it's a $4 million, until he went twice that, to be over budget.
Yeah. Right.
It's like a $4 million movie, and someone like Heston would have wanted 1 million of that.
Yeah,
4 million just to appear on screen.
Well, it's like with Superman. Like, I think he didn't get like $1 million or anything, but like Nicholas Hoult did because he's a more established star.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man,
and you
like,
go with the unknown because you want it. First of all, you want him to embody the character. So we don't want to be thinking about Charlton Heston when we're watching this movie. Like you said in the intro, we want the shark to be the star of this movie. Okay. And then we also...
Although this movie is a great NRA. It's a great, it would be a great NRA thing. Like,
sure. Well, this was before he was into
so much
all
stuff
that,
with guns. We could do so much stuff with guns. You can actually shoot the shark. There's that one scene that I felt like it's just every American trying to solve a problem, and it's the shark goes by as they're the shark's in the pond, and you hear the one guy go, shoot at it, what are you doing? Shoot at it.
Exactly.
I like this scene when all the townspeople are going out to try and get the shark. Very much, again, DNA and a lot of
professionals.
But yeah, just like we're going hunting, folks. Come on, it's gonna be like a town activity. We're not taking it that seriously.
One more casting thing. The role of Quint, right? The Robert Shaw role could have been either Lee Marvin, which I think somebody in chat mentioned that it could have been Lee Marvin, or Sterling Hayden. Speaking of Dr. Strangelove.
Oh wow. Okay.
Interesting.
He's Jack the Ripper, the general that goes insane.
Oh, that would have been all right.
Yeah. I mean, neither of those are bad. They're just different. I mean, Lee Marvin would have been. That's very different. Yeah. But I kind of
apparently. Go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say apparently there was a guy that's in the movie, Craig Kingsbury, who's a local that's like he plays the Ben Gardner role, where he's the the guy that's at the bottom of the ship, where he's like, oh, that's his boat, and he's like you see him go, and that's the jump scare thing. So apparently Robert Shaw based the performance for the Quint performance on that guy. Like he just copied his mannerisms,
which is great because there is a certain just sauced authenticity to that. Which again, like I'm now firmly convinced that Johnny Depp, when he was doing the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, was like that's like one of his like on the vision board or something, right?
Yeah, it was that.
Robert Shaw and Jaws.
Look like
and Keith Richards. Yeah. Yep.
But sound like
Totally.
Why is the rum gone?
Right. It makes sense, right? And it totally works, and it works in a way that you're like, what did he just? Wait, what did he just? Huh? Get kind of like the mumbly kind of like bits too, and it's all great. We have gotten this far. We have not talked about the John Williams score. Iconic, amazing,
amazing.
No.
And specifically, he insisted that Spielberg only use that iconic piece of music when the shark's actually present. So when there's like the fake fin and whatnot, that you see the people frolicking in the water, like, oh, there it is, there's a shark. You don't hear the theme. And I think that's so cool. And in this era of themes being used for everything, all the time, always, to have that restraint. It's why we still think of it to this day, right?
I don't think you can have that restraint. I think that the studio would be like, because everything's seen in dollar signs, right? Like a score with someone, especially like John Williams. Now it's all seen in dollar signs. Like we're paying for this piece of music. We're gonna get our share of this piece of music. Like
a recent memory of using the score appropriately and only at certain times was I can think of Rogue One and Andor would use classic Star Wars themes very sparingly.
Creed, the first Creed movie, it brings back the iconic but not Oscar winning thanks to Cabaret, part of the Rocky theme, and it uses it very specifically in one key moment. And the fact that it's only used there, it's devastatingly effective. Rather than because it's not what emotionally carries the scene; it's the tag to it, and that's what makes that so good.
They also have the new Superman. We talked about how they use the that little tag from the original Superman theme as he's flying in, and that's like such a good use of that original John Williams.
I was thinking of that, but they do use it a lot.
They use it way more in that movie than I mean, in a way that movies.
But
just
like
do
the
now.
initial, but like the initial entry of that, I thought was a effective use of
and
a
the
score.
marketing of that movie and the way the posters look is very much the first movie. Stylistically, which I like.
I have a question though about the theme. When I heard Jaws, I remember watching an episode It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Remember when they went to the water park?
Yes.
And at the end, and at the very end, Max sits his butt on the drain, and you hear dun 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 dun. It's actually a real symphony, and I always think of Jaws when I hear that because it's very similar, but it's more operatic because I think it's from like Allegro or something like that. So every time I hear that, I'm like, oh wait, this sounds like the Jaws theme.
I'd like to just real quick kind of gold derby this a little bit, talk about the Academy Awards for that year, because remember this is like one of the biggest movie.
Wait, I had one more thing. Quickly that I wanted to say about the score. Just about the score.
Sure.
I noticed today, and I wanted to tag onto this. The Spanish when he's like, farewell and adieu, you old Spanish ladies. You actually hear they have but you hear the actual flute version of that in the John Williams score as they're sealing away. Never noticed that until today. It goes and it does that perfect little tag of that. But that's all I wanted to say.
He's still here in spirit.
So Verna Fields won for best film editing for this movie, up against a number of movies, including Dog Day Afternoon, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and 3 Days of the Condor.
Oh, that was a good
That's a stacked year.
Damn.
Stacked year. It won for best sound as well. It was nominated and won for best music for John Williams, of course, which it should be too surprising.
Is that John Williams' first Oscar?
It actually might be. We'll get our top researchers on that after I finish the spit.
By the way, Verna Fields, in the 70s, her run was What's Up, Doc, the Peter Bogdanovich movie.
Yep.
American Graffiti, and then Jaws.
That's so amazing. It's like
that's
just a good resume. Yeah, just in general, but to have that be like a 3-year run, I mean, that's freaking incredible, dude. So burying the lead, nominated and lost for Best Picture. Also nominated. Are you ready? Nashville. Okay. Dog Day Afternoon. Barry Lyndon, which we just covered. And, of course, the winner, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
We've covered all of those movies.
We've covered all of those movies. And One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest won. So we've now covered every Best Picture nominee for
1975. 1976.
Do you think some of that was like begrudged? We nominated it, but of course we're not going to give it to them because it's a creature feature.
Because it was considered it was considered like this is a big movie, but like whatever, this isn't cinema. This
just like now when we'll let some of the Marvel stuff win like best CGI.
Yeah, we'll give it the technicals,
special effects.
Exactly.
But,
so One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest that year.
Shout out to Stravinsky from the chat. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you.
Had both most awards 5 and then most nominations at 9.
Yeah.
So the first Oscar he was ever nominated for scoring or adaptation or treatment, Valley of the Dolls. He was nominated for that. He did score for Valley of the Dolls.
Oh,
and the first
he was nominated, but he didn't win though, right?
Yeah, the first Academy Award he did win was he actually did the score or the best scoring adaptation and original song score, Fiddler on the Roof.
Huh. Oh, really?
Yeah, and also he won for Tom Sawyer. No, he's nominated for Tom Sawyer.
Okay.
Jaws, Star Wars, that was back to back. No, almost back to back. E.T.
I totally forgot that.
Schindler's List.
So his first Oscar was Fiddler on the Roof. Then is what you're saying.
Yep. If I were a rich man.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This,
No
right,
wonder Spielberg hired him.
best original song this year. And like you think of like these big musical numbers or whatever, which they. But I'm Easy. The Keith Carradine won the Oscar.
Oh,
for
and
best
from
original
Nashville.
song this
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
How funny! What a year, man! That's oh wow, that's
crazy.
And it's nuts that we've done all five nominees.
We should
too.
do a
That's
year
crazy.
review 1975.
I mean, it's 50 years ago. We could do like 50
Yeah.
years. This
SNL
do a little
also started
special.
that year.
Exactly. By the way, Milos Forman also won Best Director that year, and notably, do you know who was not nominated? Steven Spielberg.
What?
He's too young.
Crazy.
We had
We'll see if
Altman,
we can hit
Lumet,
another one.
Kubrick,
Yeah.
Fellini, but yeah, they didn't give it to the kid that year for even as a nomination, which is kind of crazy.
Even
Right?
back then, the boomers hated the younger generation. Where the silent
The,
generation, I guess, hated the boomers.
Silent Generation hated the boomers, yeah. And then they carried that hate forward to every generation afterwards.
Yep.
Listen, listen to the so listen to who was nominated for Best Actress this year. All right, Louise Fletcher obviously won for being Nurse Ratchet, which of course she did. But
a great role.
Isabel Allende for
from Possession? Or no, that would have been for Nosferatu.
for the story of Adele H. She was Adele Hugo.
The
Truffaut.
French film.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
And Margaret.
I love Truffaut. I haven't seen that one. But.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Was
it.
that Tommy?
But and Margaret for,
Like the
for
Who
Tommy.
movie? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Glenda Jackson, who I've seen her. I don't remember where I've seen her. And then Carol Kane for Hester Street.
That's that's the
I saw her in Wicked.
Joan Silver. Joan Silver did that one. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's it. Yeah. Well, think about it though. I love all those movies. All those movies, dudes are rocking. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Like Jaws inclusive. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, dudes rock. Barry Lyndon, dudes rock. Dog Day Afternoon, dudes rock, but sometimes they're gay. Jaws, dudes rock. Nashville, everybody's in this
Sharks
movie.
rock.
but dudes rock. Sharks
Great
rock.
movie.
Yeah, Sharks rock. Go to
I
video.
watched
Yeah.
that.
They should have tried. They should have tried just lobotomizing the shark.
There you go.
True.
And Margaret got nominated for Tommy. Really? That's not that good.
I'm surprised.
Peace and love. Love the Who. But
Also, the pioneer of stick a tank, some sort of tank or explosive in the monster, and then
Oh my
shoot
God.
it and blow it up.
yeah, absolutely.
They've
got to.
Great.
They've got to switch them out. They've got to switch out One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Jaws, so that they throw a tank into Jack Nicholson's mouth,
Oh, there you
and
go,
then
there
he
you go.
blows up. But then they lobotomize the shark.
I love how they pay tribute to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in the one episode, or a few episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That
Yeah,
was always
the
funny
donkey
to me,
brains.
with Frank.
The donkey brains. Yeah.
I gotta close this page because it's too interesting. Derzu Uzala won for best foreign language film. They call it instead of best international. Akira Kurosawa, lesser known Akira Kurosawa movie, very good. Shot in Russian, his only non-Japanese language film, very good. But anyway, I'm closing this page now. We're done with this. Moving on.
Yeah, too much.
Let's do this
too
all
much
night. It's
info.
really it is interesting, right?
So the Verna Fields thing, right? The different movies that I listed, but she also had edited Medium Cool. She edited Paper Moon.
Yeah, we just talked about in Jackie Brown. That was homie's like the other thing he's known for, basically.
Yeah,
known him for.
But so she edited Paper Moon, Sugarland Express, Daisy Miller,
Right.
the Peter Bogdanovich movie, Memory of Us, which I don't recognize, and then Jaws, and then apparently she dipped out of editing after that. That was her run.
Just
She
got out
was
of
like,
the top
Jaws,
of her game,
I
I
win.
guess.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. What's up? What's
That
good
was a
now?
it's a 6-year run because it goes between 1969 and and 1975.
That's really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, no,
I love learning all these
pioneer
facts.
of exploding monsters at the end. The Thing, big, Deep Blue Sea, of course, homage to Jaws. Love Deep Blue Sea. What a great movie.
Hey,
Love
maybe
it.
that's where Trump got the
other good
inspiration for
shark
shooting
movie
at the
I would
hurricanes.
Twister.
Well, yeah, no monster is truly dead until they explode, right? Like I said.
Yeah. I mean,
And we think of that as like such a trope now, but it is, but there is quite a setup for it. Like when it's the tank, but the shark got away with the tank, and now what's it gonna do? And then he's like shooting with a rifle, and while he's shooting him, the ship is sinking.
Yeah,
and the mask he's on is like, you got like 2 shots, bro, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe 2 shots. It's
such tense. Like they do such a good job in that third act.
Yeah,
of just building that tension, paying it off. The ship is slowly sinking from much earlier, and then it's just like that's in the background. The ship is sinking, and we got to do all these other things, and then it really starts to go under, and then Jaws can get in there. Oh, so
you always know though that it's gonna, because he has this great line: "Smile, you son of a bitch."
Yeah,
and then he shoots off that last shot. You always know he his eye closed. He has the gun pointed, and then he has to say his badass line, and then he shoots it in the truck.
I'm trying. Badass line. Mission accomplished.
And every dude goes, yeah.
There's so many.
Myself inclusive.
Yeah. There's so many great moments of tension in this. Like every time they start to have a lull when they're at sea. You know, like they start to. I mean, they have the whole thing where they're singing the. I want to go home.
They're all wasted at sea. Yeah.
That scene, right? As they're finishing up their song, you see Quint hear the same thing we're hearing, which is like a slight wood breaking, and then all of a sudden the shark starts ramming the boat, which apparently is a real thing great white sharks do in these shark attacks. Once they have they have the feeding frenzy kind of like once they're in that predator mode, they actually do start ramming the boat a lot of times.
Yeah, there's
and trying to get everybody to fall off of it.
There's always a debate of whether or not women could go in the ocean when they're on their period, and I'm like, water.
Was it 1945? Who's debating this?
No, seriously. Like I'm like, tampon it or just let the water go in you and dilute it. It's fine. Whatever. You can go in the ocean. It's fine.
You're not deep enough for sharks to come get you usually.
Yeah.
And
also, most of the time,
but that is what makes it
baby sharks.
It makes it what makes it that terrifying, right? Like it's those rare times where a shark is hungry enough to come up to shore, or the rare times where a shark is hungry enough to come into the cove, which they said it wouldn't, but apparently
it's relatable content. Apparently, yeah.
One time we were fishing in Beaufort, like on the boat or whatever, or on the little like dock, and my dad caught like a shark that was like this big, and my mom was like, "Put it back."
I forgot about that dock scene too, with where they
where
drags and tie it to post and it rips the dock
and that
out.
dock just gets got immediately. And you're like, whoa,
your puppet's not working. How do we make this thing scary? Have it rip things apart. So we just need to pull the dock down. And you just need some barrels. Barrels have never been scarier than in this movie.
Great barrel work in this
which
film.
would come out 20 years later. But just the barrels moving around.
Perfected the form of barrel work.
Coming. Yeah. That means he's here.
No, that is why there is. So on rewatch, I did not remember nearly as many barrel involvement scenes from last time, but it is very effective, and it's great as a tracker for. Again, it's the leaving your imagination to fill in the blanks. Right? Oh, that's a shark. That means that crazy. That's how this coming right at you, and you are led in, and it's Hitchcock's bomb in the room thing, right? The audience knows more than the protagonist.
Yeah, we set it up right at the beginning with the teens partying, and the girl getting eat. Makes me think of every horror movie since then.
Oh, absolutely! How many times have we seen that? Right? Yeah, how many times? Yeah. And by the way, what must it be like to be that actress, right?
Oh yeah,
to be like, I'm in like one of the biggest movies of all time, but not for very long.
But it's a memorable scene.
It is very memorable. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Get that legacy going.
Absolutely. Yes. So absolutely, the barrels are the bomb in the room in this situation, right? Where it's like, we know more than the characters on the screen do, and that's one of the things that makes the tension so thick.
Yeah.
Because if you think about like the mechanics of what we're talking about, it's a bunch of dudes on a boat.
Yeah.
You don't see the actual shark that much. And so you have these incredibly tense moments where is the line gonna snap? Is that beam gonna hold? And like
Titanic who?
How many times have we
really.
seen that not work too?
This
Like,
is
meaning
like
narratively.
proto Titanic as well, because again, we don't have the shark, so we got to make the boat scary. Oh, it's breaking. This isn't working.
Right.
We got to fix this. It's held together with duct tape and hope. You know, now the shark's bashing against it, and Quint's putting into full throttle, and we're not going to be able to move the boat if the engine breaks.
I really
By the way,
love,
he's right. They do need a bigger boat. By the way,
Yeah.
FYI, it totally could have like probably would have had Quentin probably
Jeff
came out of
Bezos'
it.
yacht.
Exactly. Where's Mansion's yacht? The one he lives on. Get that in here. Thank you.
I really love a good a smoke on the water. You know, like when there's already problems going on and then the boat catches on fire. Like I feel like that's always such a great use of resources. They're like, oh fuck, the boat's on fire.
Yeah, the boat's on fire and it's out at sea. Great.
We need to destroy this set. Okay, cool. We got fire.
And like little things like the lines going and the canister spinning is, you know, pours water on it, right? Stuff like that, because it's like, you know, okay, you need to reduce the heat on it so it doesn't snap. It's great. Is it accurate to what fishermen do? I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's great cinema. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe it is. What do I look like?
Actually,
like
the Gordon's fisherman. Come on, what are we doing here?
Look at the arrows on the IMDb page, and we'll figure it out. Actually,
because why put that in there? You know?
Yeah.
There's something that works so well with. I mean, I know you guys talked about the barrels, but you know, being like an effective thing.
As a noted Donkey Kong enthusiast, yeah.
But as like they're goofy and they're bright yellow, and that somehow makes them more terrifying. That when the barrels pop up on the surface, you're like, oh, the shark's about to be there. Somehow, like the fact that they're goofy and like they're in like these little tanks that are floating makes it scarier. Like, I know what the fuck is about to happen. Like, that's the shark.
It's kind of like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, taking something that would be an object of ridicule, absent of context, and turning it into something terrifying.
Yeah.
No, it reminds me of even the flour on the floor in like Paranormal Activity. You know, that's just flour on there, but through the movie and through the context, it's fucking terrifying because you're seeing the steps, the footprints of the demon.
Yeah.
They sent. I mean, I said this in the intro, but they sent a guy. They needed they wanted to have some kind of shark because they're rewriting this as they're going on. They wanted to have some kind of shark. You know, like the whole tiger shark scene when they're like, oh, they're the garbage cans of the sea. They wanted to have something like that. They sent a guy down to the Florida Keys and had him fish until. And
they're pulling in that scene where he's pulling the stuff out of the shark's stomach, get the license plate. Dude, it's like this. It's like this tiger shark was on tour. How he's eating. It's like what are you doing?
They love. Aquariums love to have a tiger shark and call them the garbage cans of the sea. Because tiger sharks are but they're like, you know, they're like a lot of aquariums end up having them for whatever reason. So they're like, oh, we can't like you can't have like a great white at an aquarium probably because they're like too big. But you can have a tiger shark and you could be like, oh, this is the garbage can of the sea. They love saying that.
They love it. They love eating trash. Crazily enough, a whole bunch of Sharknado DVDs were found missing.
God, I remember that. That was one. Oh God,
great scene. Like it reminds me of I mean, so much of this. Again, the DNA is in all these other movies, but there's I think it's in The Walking Dead. They cut open a zombie to see if it ate one of their friends because they're looking for like a tattoo.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, just the idea, again, it building the horror without even showing much like gore. We're not going to build like body parts of a kid.
It's unearthly, right?
We want to, it's unearthly. Exactly. It's foreign. The white stuff that comes out when they initially cut it open. It's like, what is this? It's like Bishop blood from Alien.
Right.
And then, and then they're just pulling out like we got to make sure, and it's the melancholy of the act of what they're doing that makes it terrifying. Like we got to check and see if there's like kid bones in here,
right,
kid parts. Because
look around, we see Quato in there, you know,
at the beginning.
Some Total Recall for you.
Yeah.
So
Quato, everybody. Thank you.
some of the weirdest stuff ever found inside one of those tiger sharks.
Oh, you're looking that up? Great. I can't wait.
A suit of steel armor. They found an entire suit of armor inside of one of them.
Delicious.
Go ahead. Who did that? thing kill? Like, what the hell?
It's like ate a night of the round table or something. I don't know.
a fur coat.
I tell you,
a fur coat.
All right.
Yeah. License plates, which obviously, you know.
All right, so the license plate, that's accurate.
Yeah,
that's a trope.
Apparently they found one tiger shark that had eaten not one, not two, but 3 overcoats at one point. But they had.
I didn't realize there was a tiger shark attack at the Burlington Coat Factory. But here we are.
Yeah. I can see how a tattooed floating in water looks like a meal.
Yeah, it looks like an animal.
A tattooed human arm, which I thought I was missing one, but I got
Forrest, watch out!
It was the guy who threw all those license plates away. They got too close.
An entire reindeer. It just seems like a reindeer probably got too close to the water.
Yeah.
That's what Santa, I guess, does with the reindeer that aren't taken.
A couple over the Atlantic.
It's a ruthless cat.
An unopened
exactly, you lose it to
wine.
attrition.
So an unopened bottle of wine. Apparently multiple dogs. Multiple dogs found inside of one. Several songbirds that were unlucky enough to land on the water. I guess. An unopened can of salmon, a green iguana, a leather wallet, a coil of copper wire.
Where is this list?
This is on outdoorlife.com.
Oh my god.
A propeller from a boat.
Puppies.
A keg of nails and porcupine spines. I tried to eat a porcupine, I guess.
Wow.
And that's the list.
That's AKA
that shark had a bad day when he ate that porcupine.
Yeah, a tiger shark. Our tiger shark. All you can eat iPod. It's still playing. Yeah, it's still playing music.
Yeah.
And it's playing the Jaws theme. Crazy.
Coincidentally.
Who knew?
On repeat, and the shark finally has to go. To try to get the iPod out of him.
They always know I'm coming. They hear the music.
I shouldn't have tried to eat all that music.
It's like it's the update for in Peter Pan. The alligator has the clock, right?
No, yeah.
The watch clocks. I'm like, anyway, whatever. They hear him coming.
There's a new Peter Pan coming out, isn't there?
Hey, they say a swallowed clock is right twice a day. No cats, by the way. Yeah, cats somehow escaped from being eaten by the tiger shark.
Cats are like, I ain't fucking with that. I ain't going anywhere near that water.
Cats are like, we're not going in the water. Did you see the video?
I seen this tiger shark eat some fur coats, a porcupine, like a full bottle of wine. I ain't going anywhere near that. I like to think that this, first of all, is the same shark and that ate all these things in series. You know what I mean? Like a cartoon.
Yeah. You ain't putting that out.
Well, the shark's just like, oh, I'm eating too much. Oh, what have you eaten? An unopened bottle of wine, a dog.
Someone give this guy this shark vocal laugh.
I should have quit after the second fur coat.
It's the all you can eat Garbage Island buffet. You know, when it goes to the Garbage Island, it's like, they just kept offering me more stuff.
No, look, don't play. We've all been there. They say, you can eat. You feel like you got something to prove. All right.
Yeah, always, every time. That's why I don't go that often to buffets. Yeah. I'm like, if I eat less than like 3 meals
every time.
I gotta beat the system. I gotta eat more than it would cost normally.
What I can chew.
Christina, you got to eat the porcupine quills first. It'll aid with the digestion.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a shark making this out.
I do like the tiger shark as the look everyone, we got him. Drop the banner, mission accomplished. Like we got him. And Richard Dreyfuss is like, that's not the shark. That's
well, tagged onto that story too. Apparently, they had forgotten how fast sharks decay because of so much of them is cartilage, so they decay a lot faster than like other kinds of bony fish. So they literally had to keep applying coats of like water and like makeup to the shark. Like they had to keep trying to make the shark look fresh.
Oh man, imagine being that makeup artist. God. Yeah.
Well, there's a picture of the guy, and he's spraying the water onto like this famous picture of the guy trying to spray water onto the tiger shark to keep it fresh.
That's
they
they said get a job in show business, everybody.
I'm the shock. I'm the shock water guy.
I'm the guy. I sprayed down the shark. Look, there wouldn't be a movie without me. All right. It's up there. Wait till you hear about the guy from Boogie Nights. Anyway, Letterboxd is a social media site for film lovers talk out with and to each other about the movies that they love, maybe the movies that they didn't love, maybe the movies where they just proclaimed accurately one of the best blockbusters of all time. And of course, it is a bottom-up democracy. Everyone gets to have their say. Everyone gets to chime and opine, not just the Siskel's and Eberts of the world. Everybody gets to express themselves, have their say, and it's best done succinctly for the purposes of this bit, which is done weekly, collected by yours truly for Forrest and the panel to respond to. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for Jaws. Let's roll them. The tragic story of a bunch of alcoholics who hunt down and murder a fish for the crime of being really hungry.
True. I would summarize that for sure.
Did Spielberg write that from the perspective of the shark?
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted the shark to win.
I feel like the shark's the most relatable character here. I mean, I don't know. What are we doing here?
I do feel bad for the shark at several times. I'm like, it's such a majestic fish. Like, let it live. Like,
yeah. Let it eat as many coats as he wants to.
They just had to close down the beach. That's all they had to do.
That's all he had to do. I would have tried to befriend the shark, but that's just me.
Same.
Nobody really tried. At no point are they like, oh, maybe we could give it some chum, and then the shark will be like, well, now I'm full.
You can see that shark was like, yo, what's good with that chum? I'm good. Let's go, baby. I'm ready.
What's good with that chum? Let me see that chum. I'm coming.
Oh boy, there we are.
We're having fun. Free after party nonsense.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I was on that boat, it would have gone down differently.
Was that Mark Wahlberg? Yeah.
It's his alt. It's his alt.
We're like, yo, it wouldn't have happened if I was there. I would have kicked the shit out of that shark.
I would kick that shark's ass.
Yo, I would have kicked that shark in the face.
I still can't believe you said that.
Amazing. Me personally, I just wouldn't go in the water. Yeah, that was
my mom.
This is Kristina's mom. Okay, wow, all right.
Like that literally was me after watching it every year in Maine, though. I'm just like, maybe I shouldn't go in the water.
I don't know. What do I really need to be in the water for anyway? I'm just gonna say it. The shark had to go. It was causing too many problems.
Yeah, I mean, the like 4th of July is a big weekend in Amity, and the shark's kind of.
It's kind of bumming me out, man. I'm trying to celebrate the 4th over here.
I love how every like just Jaws is just every scientific problem now that we have. Like, there's always just a mayor being like, yeah, we can't do anything. Like, we don't want to do anything about this. It'll mess up the economic flow of our town that we really need really badly. And that's like every problem, like climate change, just pesticides, like anything that we have, it doesn't become a problem until, the entire beach gets sick.
Literally, the mayor says it in the movie when he finally relents and is like, okay, I'll give you the money to go hunt the shark. My kids were on that beach too. And it's like, yeah, when it personally affects you, that's when you give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Conan, muted.
The cure to capitalism is...
Yeah, you don't get to do it just because I muted myself. It's my bad. Damn it. The cure to capitalism is boating with the boys.
I mean, it is. Yeah. Because on the sea, you share everything. You share drinks. You share stories about,
everyone's got the role.
Exactly.
I love how the scene where they're talking about battle scars. I love how they literally just Kevin Smith copied that. Well, no, Kevin Smith copied that exact scene, even down to the I got that one beat for Chasing Amy, where they're talking about scars that he got while either like pleasuring a girl or like hooking up.
Oh yeah, I forgot it. Well, Kevin Smith does love Jaws.
Yeah, but I love that he copied it down to the I've got that one beat.
That's great.
I've got that one beat.
But it's for sex, guys.
That's how Kevin Smith pitched the movie. He's like, but it's for sex, guys. Think about Jaws.
Most of his pitches.
think about Jaws, but it's a bi woman instead of a shark.
Whoa, bro.
She doesn't even know she's bi. She thinks she's lesbian at the beginning.
All the men were having a sass off this entire film. Also, R.I.P. to that diva of a shark.
they literally are.
And Robert Shaw were really, really sassing it up.
It was super sassing, yeah, for sure.
It would have been disappointing to learn they weren't feuding in real life. Like if they hadn't been, you know what I mean? Like
I didn't know they were feuding.
I like the idea of Robert Dreyfuss just taking his drink and throwing it off the boat.
Can we get like a movie about behind the scenes of Jaws? Because I think that would be so funny to portray.
They do have a documentary.
Does it show that scene in the story I talked about of Robert Shaw not nailing the monologue the first time because he's too wasted?
I haven't seen the entire thing, but I assume probably like there was just a camera crew following them throughout the entire thing.
I wonder if it's on like
really was ahead
the
of its
movies
time.
that made us on Netflix. I love that show.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if Chief Brody ever caught those 9-year-olds who were karateing those picket fences. It does seem to be like this is going to be a big karate movie, I guess. I don't know.
This is how we got Surf Ninjas.
And again, happy 50th anniversary to one of the greatest of all time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's like everybody in this town was kung fu fighting.
They said everyone was.
Kung Fu fighting.
Those kids were fast as lightning. We never caught them with those fences.
Yeah, they get these picket fences. They just break the hell out of them. Busting my balls over here. And my fences. I'd have a foursome on that boat.
Wait, is the fourth the shark?
With the shark?
I'm guessing. Is the shark number? Or
I think the reviewer and the three guys.
Oh, the review, yeah.
But it could be the shark. I don't know what they're into.
In the middle of the water because of the implication.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not get that.
Three men go onto the boat. They have an orgy. Two men leave the boat.
Return.
And never make eye contact again. It got weird.
A friendship was lost on that boat.
That'd be if Luca Guadagnino did Jaws. Luca Guadagnino, everybody. Thank you. Moving on. Forgot how much of this is about barrels. Yo, facts. It really
so
is.
much.
Yo, they could have gotten Donkey Kong. They could have gotten Donkey Kong to kill the shark.
They couldn't pay his rate, man. He wanted too
Donkey
much.
Kong didn't exist yet.
That's true. That's true.
He was just a young ape throwing barrels around for shits and giggles. Yeah.
Well,
He was doing Shakespeare, throwing barrels at Cicero.
To be or not to be.
By the way, the Donkey Kong game is fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
Thank you, everybody. Donkey Kong doing Shakespeare. That's right. That's what we're doing here. Mid Extravaganza. Those are the Letterboxd one-liners for Jaws. Please follow the show on the popular Letterboxd platform. Boo, 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 at Moving It Extra, where we're posting up stories of all the great movies that we cover on here, with the episodes, attendant, short-form content, tidbits, so much more. Follow us on there. We're getting caught up. Always Flacco, at Always Flacco, the Great White Hope. He's logging all of the stuff we do in this show. I'm just going to shoot right past that. Logging all the stuff we do in this show and so much more. I noticed you did a little mini Spielberg journey. That must have been nice. That's a good.
Yeah, I haven't watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind since I was a kid. I remember going to the video store and getting it. That was the last time I watched it.
A good one to do on this show, actually. Yeah. we were gonna do it for Invasion, but we didn't. I think it didn't make it anyway.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's a lot of movies, man. I am, of course, at Conan Neutron. My name. You're gonna need a bigger host. Haha. See what I did there? Highbrow, midbrow, populous fare. Follow me for the Criterion Challenge 2025. Right at par for that. I've actually seen a bunch of movies this last week, so we're going to talk about that in the after party. But follow me on the Letterboxd platform to see what I'm up to there. Kristina, Human Infested Waters at Kristina. Logging a bunch of stuff. I know you logged Fantastic Four. I've seen it. I've seen it before.
And I'm going to log the new Naked Gun movie too.
That's fantastic.
I'm excited for that one. That's one where that's a legacy comedy sequel that I from the trailers, from the casting of Liam Neeson, I think has legs. I hope it does. I hope it does well.
And they
it's also not reliant on old characters and old actors coming back. So
I'm excited about it. We're going to talk about all of it in the after party. I thought you were going to say a Lego Lost comedy, and that immediately made me think of Lord of the Rings, which would be great. That'd be a totally different scenario. That's one I'm surprised that didn't get the Hot Shots Part 2 style. I guess that style was kind of falling out of favor at the time. Is the Lord of the Rings trilogy?
Well, it did, but it was in those epic movies.
Oh, those were terrible.
Yeah.
Those were really bad. That was
scary movie.
Well, you may ask yourself why that genre kind of died. Well, I can show you the reason why.
Yeah, the only bright spots of the first of those few movies is obviously Jennifer Coolidge and Fred Willard.
Yeah.
They kept having them play different roles,
Yeah.
but even that can't save it.
They're always treasures, but even they can't polish those turds, frankly.
Crispin Glover, they got him to be in a lot of them too.
Right, exactly. Alex, I don't think you're on Letterboxd unless you've been an account in the past 2 weeks.
Christina, I believe.
Sorry.
I'm so
well,
sorry.
it's fine. We're gonna get into plugs and all that.
Okay.
We can get back to it, but we need to keep this moving. So,
I am Devil's Advocate C on Twitter and Blue Sky. I am Devil's Advocate Productions on.
Wait. We're not plugged yet.
We do a thing. We have to get to the thing that does. Sorry. We just everything we do makes this show more complicated and takes longer to close it out. But somehow we keep doing it anyway. So, but yeah, it's good. That's a good trial run. Let's save that powder. Let's go.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
Yeah. Let's actually do this. I keep forgetting that we want to do this. So thank you, Forrest. It's me, Conan Neutron, talking now. Protonic Reversal, the latest episode with John Fine of We Contain Multitudes, up in the general feeds for everybody. Of course, a weekly show, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, streaming live on YouTube, podcasts later everywhere. If you, always free, no ads, no sponsors, no kidding, but $1 a month at patreon.com/Protonic Reversal gets you advance access and helps support the show. So thank you for that, folks that do that. A bunch of really cool episodes coming up. Brian from Def Club coming up this week, which is great. They have a new record. I'm very excited for that. Steve on Neurosis coming up with that. Tim from the Maishi, 3 things I can't talk about, but they're all going to be great. It's going to be a killer August. To Protonic Away. Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends just played Green Bay UFO Invasion Fest, which was great. It was a really good time. It's hot AF. Don't mind telling you. The riffs were hot, and so was the temperature, everybody. Those are the last. So this weekend was the last shows for the summer. announcing October and November tour dates. Finally, I've been kind of soft announcing them for forever on this show. Coming up in the next 2 weeks. So we're going to have a lot more coming up in the fall, but that's it for now. But go to neutronfriends.bandcamp.com or wherever you get your music to pick up Way the Neutron, or just listen for free if you feel so inclined. That is also okay. And neutronfriends.com and on all the various social medias by under duress, basically. But there you go. So not tons of cool stuff coming up. There's a video we shot this weekend. Friend of the show, Rick Valentin, who's on, of course, for the great After Hours episode. We did a great Villain of Circumstance.
And also the SAG, when we talked about the SAG.
We talked about the SAG stuff as well. Yes, absolutely. It's noir influenced. And let me tell you, if you follow my Instagram, you'll see it. Like, there's some pretty cool shots that came from this. I think this should be pretty bloody rad, actually. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out this summer, as well as videos for Chekhov's Script and Sharks Keep Moving. Not in time for Shark Week or this show, but it'll be out eventually anyway. Kristina, tell me what you got.
So we are still doing Shadow Saturdays. My mom keeps thinking we're done. I'm like, no, we're not. Streaming on Twitch. I streamed for 12 hours yesterday. Why? I have no fucking idea. But we recently watched a bootleg of the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere in Las Vegas, and oh my god, it was a lot of fun to watch. You could tell what a lot that the Sphere was doing. It's mostly like 50%. It's like 75% or 85% Sphere doing the work, and then like 50% of the performers.
The best part about it, you don't have to actually be in Las Vegas to watch it on stream.
I know. I love that. Someone was like, here's a bootleg. I'm like, oh, yeah. I can't wait to watch the Wizard of Oz one on stream. But yeah, just, I wasn't on PowerPort last week because Dan was hashing out with the Vanguard. So I'm probably going to be back this Thursday.
I actually was the one that was able to reach out to the Vanguard guys and get them to, and then I wasn't invited on as like a moderator. It was the letter hack. But I was the one that hooked it up.
Yeah, not me. And also, I did my show today, Kristina's Corner. And of course, we're doing Movie Night Extravaganza now.
Are we? Oh, man, I'm not prepared.
I don't know. August 3rd is my affiliate anniversary stream, so that's a Sunday. So I got a lot of stuff planned for that. Gonna do 24 hours for that one because why the hell not? Yeah.
Your health?
Yeah. I'll do drinking.
Sleep stream.
Sorry, that was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, sleep stream. Yeah, just play. People stay when I'm sleeping and watch my Craig Ferguson marathon.
Oh, you did?
They love it. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
They love that. We watch Craigie Ferg. It's part of the thing. It's great. But yeah, I don't really have much else going on besides all my streaming and stuff. I'm working on my Eve Textmaker cosplay from Superman, and Sarah, who played Eve, has been very much engaging in my Instagram posts. So I'm going to tag her when I do the cosplay and see how impressed she will be.
The meta reference of you cosplaying an influencer, doing influencer things so that the influencer in question you are cosplaying interacts with you is some next level stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm glad it's happening. Excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it kind of breaks my brain to think about it too hard. But anyway, get her to come on the show.
Yeah.
Do you like Star Wars, kid? Anyway. All right. Alex, hit us.
Hey, I'm Alex from Devil's Advocate Productions. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Devil's Advocate C. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Devil's Advocate Productions. Look for this symbol of the smiley face with the devil horns. That is my symbol everywhere, so you'll know it's me. I have a review of Fantastic Four on my channel. Just finished that.
Which is like the one new release we're not doing this summer.
I know.
Whatever, we're doing plenty.
We're doing Jaws. Fuck it, 50th anniversary.
Fuck it, put the shark in the pits, kid.
I got Fantastic Four. I got a review of Tyler the Creator's new albums. The first time I ever listened to Tyler the Creator, and this was a great album to start with because holy crap, it's great. And I got a lot of other stuff in the works. I got a Donkey Kong Bonanza review coming soon. A Tony Hawk remake review coming soon. Gamescom is coming up, so I'm going to be streaming on Twitch, probably covering Gamescom. A lot of stuff. Come check me out. And it's always a pleasure to be on this show. I love it.
It's great to have you back.
Oh yeah.
Yes, a little bit.
But I guess since you're already on screen, Alex, do you have some final thoughts on this movie?
I was worried watching it again. It was going to be a little slow. I know what's happening. I know what's going to come, but it was so refreshing. It was a lot of fun watching it today, and man, perfect summer movie. Perfect summer movie. A tight 2 hours.
It makes you want to go to the beach, though. It makes you want to go to the beach.
It does. It looks so much fun. Everyone's having a great time.
Except for the whole getting eaten by a shark part.
That
part's less
before
fun.
that.
Well, that's like 2 people.
What are we gonna do? Close down the beach?
It's that classic joke, right, about the bear, where 2 guys are in a tent, and the bear comes along, and the guy starts getting his shoes on. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you."
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Same stuff.
But yeah, no, this is a classic for a reason. Sometimes me being a very obstinate person, hence devil's advocate, when I hear a movie's great, I go, "Is it?" And then I don't watch it for a while, and then eventually, sometimes I succumb and I watch it, and I'm like, "Yes, I was right. This movie sucks," or "No, this movie's great. I can't deny it." It's Casablanca, it's Jaws, it's Jaws.
I love when the shark turns to the shark turns to Brody. He says, "Here's looking at you, kid."
All right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Kristina.
So to me, Jaws is the epitome of a perfect shark movie. Everyone's tried to do it. Everyone's paid homage. It's been parodied, but nothing compares to the OG. And thank God they did end up going over budget, because look what came about. Like, again,
I mean, it's crazy how little money that they were originally going to spend on it, though. Like $4 million for that whole thing.
Yeah, and so
It's bold.
It's one of those films you probably saw when you were younger and you didn't really realize maybe the impact of it. Go see it again. It's 50th anniversary. It's great. Classic, like one of the best Spielberg films ever.
That's saying a
Like
lot. The
top
guy's made.
10.
You hear this Spielberg kid? He's made a lot of movies.
Yes. Yeah. Also, do not be afraid to go in the ocean. Don't go too far out. Okay, whatever. Like,
Wait.
just know your limits.
See, this would have been the gift that I should have done when I made a lot of movies. Yeah, there it is. That's Fablemans.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Huh? But yeah, if you haven't seen Jaws, go see it. It's a Spielberg classic. I never realized growing up how many Spielberg movies I actually watched. So, wow.
Yeah.
Each
No.
week,
Yeah.
multi-dice.
You don't even like really think about it. Like, I feel like Spielberg is just one of those directors that you've seen all the
He's
movies,
like
even if you haven't.
Prototype of a director. Like in a cartoon, when they need a director, he looks
It's
like
Steven
Spielberg.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like Jerry Seinfeld is the prototype stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
And also, too, Steven Spielberg directed apparently the Liberian Girl Michael Jackson music video, because they're like, "Who's directing this?" And there's Spielberg. And then also, too, he's in the Austin Powers 3 movie, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Mojo. So yeah,
I was gonna say,
I love that.
What's the deal with great white sharks?
That's good. Yeah, solid. Yeah, so then it's me, Conan Neutron, everybody. Hi. One of the greatest blockbusters of all time, rated correctly. This is a very well-crafted story, and even more well-crafted, because it ruined the reputations of sharks, the creatures, for multiple generations. Quintessential blockbuster. Everything else copies it, parodies it, homages it, or is just inferior to it. John Williams' score is iconic. Spielberg, the fact that he wasn't nominated for Best Director for this movie is kind of a mind blower. But don't worry, they made up for it later on. And so the performances here are perfect. They've again also homaged and parodied a million times. It's a thrilling horror adventure, and it rung a bell of actual terror for people in real life for many years. It's only gotten better with age. Frankly, it kind of shows how hollow and bland so many films that bear the blockbuster name really are. And I'm just really glad they never made any sequels.
yeah. What everyone says?
Who would do that?
Sequels, and I'm like, what are you talking about? No.
Sequels to
No,
Jaws?
those were only in Back to the Future. Those are fake.
I will debate people about sequels. I'm like, there is no sequel to Jaws. No, don't
Yeah,
be
never
telling
Well,
me.
none, I mean, the other ones are not directed by Spielberg.
They don't exist. What are you talking
Sequel
about?
to Jaws. Come on. What are you talking about? Sharknado? That's a different movie. Anyway.
Deep Blue
Yeah.
Sea is the only good movie, I think.
And then, so stay tuned for the after party. We're doing an after party tonight. So we're hanging out if you want to hear.
Wait
more.
on the
Yeah.
Movie Night
We will-
Extravaganza YouTube channel.
We'll be hopping over. Yeah.
Did we announce that we're doing what we're doing next month? No? Did we do it?
We're doing no, we can announce it.
We're gonna here's $5. Go see a Star War. That's what we're gonna do.
Well, I better get $15 because we're doing the original trilogy. You know what I mean? So
and Rogue One.
And Rogue One. We're starting with Rogue One.
And Rogue One, yeah.
We're doing all
New
the good
Hope.
ones.
Nice.
Emperor Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So Bonnie Burton will definitely be coming back. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. Also,
We'll see.
what people say there's these prequels and these other sequels. I don't know what they're talking about.
Balderdash. I never heard of anything.
Prequels.
What the hell?
To Star Wars. What are you talking about? Rogue One? We're doing that one. What are you talking about?
I'm not even joking.
Yeah. So we're heading on over to that after party.
The great after party in the sea.
Take care, folks. Thank you so much again for having me on.
No, great to have you, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you don't eat before you stream, so yeah.
He's just
You're
waiting for that
excused.
chum. He's waiting for us to throw that chum out.
I'm chumming.